Yes, I'll say hi, everybody. First off, Sue Alverson, the Development Director here at the National Home. As you've heard us talking a little bit, maybe, and I'm open for suggestions. So if anybody wants to shoot Megan a chat about ideas, maybe once a quarter, maybe every other month. We definitely take the summer off because June is a lot of conferences for you guys. July, we have National Convention. August is just plain summer break. So we'll look at the rest of those months and maybe send out an email and see what people respond back.
And speaking of that, I wasn't on the email for this one. Our state adjutant forwarded it to me.
How could you not be on this one?
I don't know.
We'll have to look at that, Megan.
Yeah, I'm putting it down right now.
Yeah. Oh, I see Bill from Connecticut. He probably can't hear. There's a new person. He hasn't been on. Awesome. Well, we have program tonight, so that's always a big draw. You don't have to listen to me talk all night. So one thing I was discussing, the last meeting we had was about 30 minutes, and I think it, again, I want you to tell your friends and family to join, and it's just, we want to keep it short because I know you're either in the middle of your day or you've had a long day, and we want to, respect everybody's time and just get to the work and get to the questions and get everybody off. So we'll stay on as long as we need to, but it, definitely doesn't need to go an hour. I know some of them have. But yeah, we're getting I see some new people tonight. So that's good because that's really what our goal is to, keep building this and to spread the word. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and welcome everybody. I'd like to say just a couple fundraising pieces, even though we're not talking about fundraising tonight, but everybody knows that I hope that we have the Centennial Garden. And that's just piece of it's going to be connected to the Tribute Park, and we're not doing any slideshows, but I want to show this. This is a poster, a tabletop poster that I have a handful of these left. If you're somebody that goes out to events and would like one of these, I'm going to say I probably have 30 of them. I'd really like to get them into the hands of some of you folks that are out and about doing things. So shoot Megan a message and with your name and address, and we'll get you that. And I'll also have some Homefront Hero tabletop posters. They were originally meant for our trustees back in February, but they came in and they didn't have a QR code on them. So the printer told me to keep them, and I'm going to give them to some other people. So trustees, you're not going to have your new ones right away, but they're in a reprint and we'll get them off to you. So other than that, Megan's going to go over a couple Zoom housekeeping pieces, and then she'll introduce Angie Harkins, our program director, and then we'll open it up for questions. So have at it, Megan.
Hello. I'm Megan Mitchell. I'm the Public Relations and Event Coordinator at the National Home. I know we are all seasoned Zoomers at this point. We've been doing many, many meetings, but just want to go over a couple quick housekeeping things. We do ask that everyone mutes their microphone just to keep that background noise at a minimum while we're going through this presentation. If you do have a question, feel free to pop it into the chat, or also you can just use the hand raise function at the end when we open it up to Q&A. If you have anything that you are asking for from us, we just ask that when you send it, some of you don't have your full name as your on your screen for your Zoom. So just put your name and your title and your contact information in there, just so we make sure that we can get it to you easily. This is being recorded, so at the end of this, early next week, you should be getting an email from us with a link to this recording and all of our past Zoom meetings, which we've been recording. And yeah, so if anyone wasn't able to make it and you want to forward this to them, that email to them, then they'll be able to watch the video. Our next meeting's topic is going to be announced in that email as well, so keep an eye out on that. And as Sue said, over the next couple months, we'll be discussing, what this looks like as far as changing it up from a monthly meeting, and we will get back to you with that. So today's topic is going to be about our program office and our Veteran and Family Resource Center. So I'm going to turn it over to Angie, our program director.
Thanks, Megan. Can you hear me okay? Okay. As Megan said, I'm Angie Harkins, the program director. And so tonight's topic, we're going to talk about eligibility and then the Veteran Family Resource Center. But to kind of give everybody a background of the program department, we have a few sections that fall under us. So the first one is case management, which includes our helpline. It's the case managers that work with all the families that live on our campus, and they also work with some off-campus families, and then cover our helpline for when calls come in and providing resources for veterans and their families. We also have the Early Education Center, which is a free daycare for our families on campus that are for kids ages 5 and younger, which is a huge benefit to our families because it takes the burden off of them for having to pay for daycare, which we all know is super expensive today. So that helps them out. And then we have support services, which is our school age program that Miss Laura and her team work with. They do after school programming, tutoring, activities. They've started a teen boy and teen girl club, and then summer programs. So in the summer, they do field trips, activities, 4-H, which is a big thing. Next week, we get our rabbits. And I think 2 weeks after that, the kids will get their hogs. So they're all super excited right now. And then we have the Veteran and Family Resource Center that Bill will talk about here in a little bit. So with our eligibility, there's 3 lanes of eligibility. The first is actively serving, and that includes the National Guard and Reserves. The second lane is a veteran, so someone that has served. And then our third lane is our legacy lane, which means their mom or dad served. So with all 3 of those lanes of eligibility, they have to have a child under the age of 18. They have to provide us with the goals that they're going to work on at the home while they're there. They can stay for up to 4 years, but they have to reapply every year and set new goals if they've accomplished the goals that they set the year prior. They have to either send in a marriage certificate if they're married, or be single. They can't be going through a divorce or a custody battle when they enter into our program. So those are our 3 lanes of eligibility. Right now, we're in the process of changing the system that we use. Currently, right now, we use the system to keep all of our case notes, and we work through it for the helpline. But this new system we get, and Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, is Coordinated Action Network. And this system is really great because when the families call in or they go to our helpline, which I think within the next couple of weeks, I would say go live when they hit the Help Now on the website, it's going to direct them to this new database that we're using, and they will put in all their information, and then it will tell them if they're qualified for our program. But if they're not qualified for our program, it will pull up programs or direct them to programs that they qualify for. What it also brings to us is if somebody goes into and puts their information in a system but doesn't know anything about the National Home, and they fit our criteria, we're going to get their information too, so we can reach out to them. So we're really excited about that. It's going to take some time for our staff to get trained on it. But right now, with how our helpline goes, is the person will either hit Help Now or they'll call our 1-800 number, and we'll walk them through to see if they're eligible for the program. Which means if they fall under one of the 3 lanes of eligibility. And if they do, we send them the online application. They fill that out. They send it back with all of their documents. Once we've received all that, we'll set up their first initial interview. That interview, we go through, a little bit about them, the family, what their goals are, why they're in need of living at the National Home. And then the second interview we set up, and that is to go more in detail about their background, the kids, their schooling, all of that information, and again, touch on their goals and kind of put what it would look like if they moved to the National Home. So once that's done, we meet as a case management team. We talk about the family. We see if we feel like they're a right fit for the National Home program, because the program's not for everybody. And then we send it up to the executive director, and then he gets the final say to sign off. Once we get all that, we contact the family. We find the house available on campus for them. That if we have several houses available, we will find the house that fits their family needs. If you've been to the home, most of our houses are big. They can house families of, anywhere from just 2 up to 7, with 5 kids. So that's a great thing. And then we get a move-in date for them, and if they need assistance, if they're moving from out of state, to move to the national home. So that's kind of how the process works. Like I said, we right now are switching over to that new database. So I think probably in the near future, if anybody's interested in it, Sue and Megan can set up another Zoom, and we can kind of talk about it a little more, and maybe walk through how that system works so everybody can see it. It's just going to house all of our documents and be simple for our staff than the way it is now, and also bring in facilities so they can do their work orders and track all of that documentation for the houses. So we have so much happening in the Veteran Family Resource Center over the last year. It opened in October of, I want to say 23, but it's all together for me right now. But we cut the ribbon on it. And since then, Bill has been working really hard to bring in resources for our families and throughout the community. So I am going to turn it over to Bill now so he can talk to you about the Veteran and Family Resource Center.
Real quick before Bill starts, it looks like Sue has something she wants to say.
Thanks. I just wanted to mention to the trustees, this is the new system is on the docket for you to view in June at the board meeting. And then after that, we will, as Angie said, we'll set it up in one of our meetings to share in this meeting. So just wanted to clarify that, because this has kind of all come about. So thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Sue. Yeah, like Sue said, Bill's going to walk you through that system in detail and show you how to use it. It's pretty complex, but it's also easy to use once you've seen it and use it, and you'll see all the benefits for it that's going to bring to the national home. So we're excited about it. Now to you, Bill.
All right, thanks, Angie. So yes, just one correction. It is the Coordinated Access Network. So if anybody wants to check it out, you can go to the CAN portal online and see what they do. Again, we'll be talking about that at a later date, so I won't get too much into that. Just some updates on what's going on in the Veteran Family Resource Center. In April, we'll be bringing in Modern Woodmen to do Money Matters with our residents. Money Matters is a 6-week course where they'll attend a class 1 to 2 days a week, depending. We've set the classes up for morning and for evening so that everyone can attend. And it covers everything from just simple budgeting all the way through what happens if someone steals your identity, everything in between. So we really, if you look at what our caseload looks like and what our residents really need, many of them are in need of understanding how to handle the household budget. So we are bringing in some experts in that field. Once that's complete, we will be bringing in a mortgage and real estate person to talk to those families who are wanting to purchase a home as one of their goals towards the end of their program. So we've connected with a real estate agent out of Jackson through the Business Networking International, and he's willing to come in and talk with the residents as a group, and then also individually one-on-one. The nice thing that he offers is that if someone leaves the home and they're going out of state or out of the area, he will vet a real estate agent for them before they connect up with a real estate agent wherever they're going. So it was a nice feature of what he's going to offer. So in the budgeting realm, that's really where we're at and what we're looking to do. Recently met with a gentleman from Job Ready Veterans, which is a nonprofit organization that helps veterans get ready for job interviews and create resumes, all of those things. We were doing that with a contractor, but this group does an excellent job, and the price is right at free. And he will meet one-on-one with whoever wants those services, and he'll come in at any time and work with our residents. So we're looking forward to that partnership. with Job Ready Veterans, and they do have a website, jobreadyveterans.org, if you want to check them out. Let me see. Those are really the three big ones. I will reiterate that we did open up a Vita tax office this year, but we were struggling to get volunteers. And kudos to Barry Whitman for bringing in his folks to do taxes for our residents this year. And we'll look at how we set this up better next year. This is our first year out of the gate. I did not realize getting folks to volunteer would be that difficult, but we adjusted and overcame that situation. Again, Barry's been very, very helpful with that. Our VSO Tom is still there every Monday doing a great job with our residents. We have Deb, who is our veteran employment specialist, and she's actually the one who brought in the Job Ready Veterans organization to work with us. So those are really kind of the things that are happening right now in the Veteran Family Resource Center. Now that some of those things are up and running, we're going to be out there looking at what we want. So what we did was we sent out a survey to the residents to see what it is they would like to see us bring into the resource center. We'll be looking at analysis of that information and then start targeting some meetings and bringing people in based on what their needs are going to be. One other thing is that we are working with Volunteers of America. They have a great peer support program where they will sit down with residents who need mental health resources, help them find the resources, help them with the paperwork, and then help them get to the appointments that they make. So that's going to be a great resource for us because, as you know, we do not have mental health services on site, but this will be a great way to get people connected with people that can help them. So I'll pause there for any questions or comments that you have.
I'm gonna jump in real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna jump in real quick. I'm sure you folks have heard me talk about the Family Support Services Fund. That's it's not unrestricted. It's restricted for the items that Bill was just talking about. Any support that the veterans need that we have to go out into the community and get. So that's a great fund. I say obviously the general fund is the least restricted, and then under that is the Family Support Services Fund. So that's an important one. And keep a lookout in the Megan, correct me. I think it's in March, the auxiliary is going to be putting out a article about the Veteran Family Resource Center. And it was basically our thank you to the auxiliary because they put the word out when we needed painting and we needed furniture and we needed to update that area in the basement. So we put together a nice article with some pictures, and they're going to be putting that out in March. So
Yes.
keep an eye out for that.
I'm not seeing any questions, Bill, so I think you're good to move on.
All right. That really is the update for the Veteran Family Resource Center. Feel free to stop in if you're in the area. I know we have some things coming up over the summer. I know for the Day of Service, we'll be cooking with the veterans. So more to come on that. Megan and I are working with Dave to make that happen. And that's all that I have then, if you don't have any questions for me.
Are there any general questions? Does anybody have? Again, if you're wanting any of the tabletop posters, if you go to events, please send your name and full address. And I'd like to get these materials into your hands. What else? Any ideas for meetings? We'd like to open that up. We want to be able to give you what you're looking for. As of right now, just tentatively, like for example, March, we have the strategic plan down, but we're not going to be ready to share that in March. So March is open for some ideas. And I'm really leaning that we're probably going to cancel the May event because it's the week after Junior Vice, and I know some of us are going to be gone on vacation. So anyway, if you have any ideas of things you'd like us to cover, We could do a briefing on the 2025. I know there's, that's a big thing coming up for us, and we have some, especially 2 events on campus, that, are going to be, we're going to have a fundraising gala in February, and then a big, community celebration in June. So we could share some more details on that if that's of interest. Why don't you just drop us a note, and, what do you think about that, Sandy?
Yep, sounds great to me.
Okay, so maybe that could be March. But again, if there's, we can obviously cover more than one thing if they're small, if there's anything else you'd like to learn about, in detail.
I do have one question, Sue, from Darla Lowe. I don't know if you know this answer offhand. If not, we can email that. She wants to know how many bricks have been sold to date. I believe in the Centennial Garden is what she's talking about.
We're right around 120. And we've got room for 1,000. So we got a lot of work to do on that. So that's why I realized I had some of these tabletop posters left, and there's a nice piece on our website too. So yeah, please help.
Well, I'm going to DC next weekend, so I'm gonna take the tabletop board and as many of the applications as I can with me.
Perfect. Thank you.
Christine is asking on a status update on the Welcome Center renovation.
We had a director meeting today, and there's nothing that has been started. They're still working on securing a contractor. Contractors are few and far between. They're very, very busy with the state of everything. So there is, and really they're still fundraising for it. That's Carla and Dwayne's project. So, but nothing to report thus far.
Shirley tossed out that doing a meeting covering 100th anniversary events would be a good topic.
Yeah, I think maybe next year, maybe next, not next year. We'll be busy next year. Maybe next month we can do that. That's a great idea. Any other questions? I would like to just give a shout out. I see Bill from Connecticut. I don't think Bill's been on before. Just a little history with Bill. He did a big fundraiser. I'm not quite sure of the year, but it was shortly after I had started. And he fundraised for our first tram, the big tram that we have. We now have 2 of them, but Bill, the first one we got was Bill from the Department of Connecticut. So shout out to you, Mr. Bill. He's trying to come on, I think. He came and visited, and we got pictures of him by it. And I'm going to guess it was 8 years ago, but the older I get, the harder time is for me to.
Well, that makes sense because it was before I started.
Okay, so it was right in there. I think
Yeah.
he's struggling to connect audio, but maybe he'll come on and clarify. Any other questions? Comments?
Well, the only question it wasn't a question, it was an idea to when they can't get into the home, any of the resources, where those resources go to. Like if they go to Boys and Girls Home or if a person can't get into the National Home and we're directing them to resources, what those resources were. But since you have this new program, I think that's going to answer a lot of what people have been asking me.
That speaks to that, right, Bill?
Yes, it
Andy?
does.
Yeah, Sandy, you're right. Once that new system it will, but we're still not, when someone calls the home and needs resources, we're still not gonna, we're gonna answer their questions. We're gonna provide the resources. We use Google a lot. If they're calling from California, we'll find if they're looking for the VA, the local VA in their area, we'll find the resources and share those with them. If not, if the helpline person doesn't have the answer, because right now it's myself and my 2 full-time case managers covering helpline. If we
Wow.
can't answer those questions, we send them to Bill or Rebecca, and they'll work with that person until they get what they called for, or what they needed.
Okay. Yeah, that was some of the questions that people were asking me. So I'm kind of glad to hear about this coordination access network, and interested in seeing how that would work, so that if we do get any questions on that, we have the answers we can give them.
Yes, I think you guys are gonna love it.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
I don't
Did
know
you
if
get-
anybody knows, but that lunar landed on the moon
Oh,
about 15 minutes ago.
awesome.
Good.
Safe and sound.
Yep, so far.
Any other questions anybody has? Anything we can answer for you tonight? If not,
This is Sue from Washington State. Will you be bringing any of those table flyers for the National Home to Senior Vice Conference?
Senior Vice Conference, I don't know that anybody's going. Do you want one?
We'd like to get some tabletop stuff for our Buddy Poppy displays.
Sure, if you could put your name and address and request in the chat box,
And do.
we will have that, we will get you out that information.
All right, thank you.
Sue.
Thank you. What was that, Megan?
Well, I just said thanks to
Oh,
Sue Greg.
all right, guys. Well, thanks again for taking some time out of your evening or mid-afternoon or wherever you are, and spending it with us. And again, if you have any ideas that you'd like us to chat about, please drop us a line. And we appreciate all your hard work. And if you have any questions, please contact us. We will get back to you just as soon as we can. So
Thank you. Thank everybody, and thank Bill. That was very informative on the Veterans Resource Center. It's so great. It's so great to see it up and running and being
Mhm.
effective.
You're very welcome, and I'm excited for what's coming up for this year.
Right.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Real quick, Tiffany. Oh, you responded. Okay. Thank you, Tiffany. And then just waiting on a message from Sue. Just want to catch everyone before you guys pop off.
I'm trying to figure that one out. It's not working.
You know what? I'll go
send it-
ahead
I'll
and
send it to an email to Sue.
okay, perfect.
All right.
Thanks,
Actually,
guys.
Sue,
You're welcome.
if you want to send that to the Department of Washington, that's another option instead of sending it to Sue.
Oh, I think my Sue. Oh no,
There
she's
you,
there.
Christine. Gotcha. Will do. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Have a great night and happy Friday.
Happy
Bye.
Friday.
Same to
See
you.
later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.